ground. Mister!
Hey, my hearts! Cheerly, my hearts! Yeah! Taking the topsail! Tend to the master's whistle! Blow till thou burst thy wind if room enough!
The boatswain, have care! Where's the master? Lay in the land!
I pray now keep below!
Where is the master, boatswain?
Do you not hear him? You mar our labour, keep your cabins! You do assist the storm!
Hey, good! Be patient!
When the sea is, hence! What cares these warriors for the name of king? To cabin! Silence! Trouble us not!
Good! Yet remember whom thou hast aboard!
None that I love more than myself! You are a counsellor. If you can command these elements to silence and work the peace of the present, we will not hand a rope more. Use your authority. If you cannot, give thanks you have lived so long, and make yourself ready in your cabin for the mischance of the hour, if it so hap. Cheerly, good hearts! Out of our way, I say.
I have great comfort from this fellow. Methinks he hath no droning mark upon him. His complexion is perfect gallows. If he be not born to be hanged, our case is miserable.
Down with the topmast! Yeah! Lower! Bring her to try with main course! A plague upon this howling! They are louder than the weather or our office. Yes, again. What do you hear? Shall we give o'er and drown? Have you a mind to sink?
The pox of your throat, you bawling, blasphemous, incharitable dog!
Work you then!
Hang you, whoreson, insolent noisemaker. We are less afraid to be drowned than thou art.
I'll warrant him from drowning, though the ship were no stronger than a nutshell, and as leaky as an unstaged wench.
Lay her a hold! Set her 2 courses off to sea again! Lay her up! What? Must our mouths be called?
The king and prince are prayers. Let's assist them, for our case is as theirs. I'm out of patience!
We are merely cheated of our lives by drunkards. This wide-shocked rascal would thou mightest lie drowning the washing of 10 tides.
He'll be hanged yet, though every drop of water swear against it and gape at widest to glut him. Mercy on us! We split! Farewell, my wife and children! Farewell, brother! We split! Let us sing with the king! Let's take leave of him! How would I give 1,000 furlongs of sea for an acre of barren ground? The wheels above me done, but I would fain die at my death.
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them! The sky, it seems, would pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea, mountain to the welkin's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel who no doubt had some noble creature in her dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth, or ere it should the good ship so have swallowed, and the fraughting souls within her.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, woe the day!
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, or that I am more better than Prospero, master of a full poor cell, and thou no greater father.
More to know did never meddle with my thoughts.
It is time. Lend thy hand. And pluck my magic garment from me. So, lie there, mine art. wipe thou thine eyes. Have comfort. The direful spectacle of the wreck, which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee, I have with such provision in mine art so safely ordered that there is no soul, no, not so much perdition as an hair, betid to any creature in the vessel, which thou heardst cry, which thou saw'st sink. Sit down, for thou must now know farther.
You have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped, and left me to a bootless inquisition concluding, stay, not yet.
The hour's now come. The very minute bids thee ope thine ear. Obey, and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came unto this cell? I do not think thou canst, for then thou wast not out 3 years old.
Certainly, sir, I can.
By what? Of any other house or person? Of anything? Tell me the image that hath kept with thy remembrance.
'Tis far off, and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me?
Thou hast, and more, Miranda. But how is it that this lives in thy mind? What seest thou else in the dark, backward and abysm of time? 12 years since, Miranda. 12 years since. Thy father was the Duke of Milan and a prince of power.
Sir, are you not my father?
Thy mother was a piece of virtue, and she said thou wast my daughter. And thy father was Duke of Milan, and thou his only heir and princess, no worse issued.
Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we that we came from thence? Or blessed was we did?
Both, dear girl, by foul play, as thou sayest, were we heaved thence. But blessedly hold hither.
My heart bleeds to think of the team that I have turned you to, which is from my remembrance. Please you, father.
My brother, and thy uncle, called Antonio. I prithee mark me that a brother should be so perfidious. He, whom next thyself of all the world I loved, and to him put the manage of my state, as at that time through all the signories it was the first, and Prospero, the prime duke, being so reputed for dignity and for the liberal arts without a parallel, those being all my study, the government I cast upon my brother, and to my state grew stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret studies. Thy false uncle, dost thou attend me?
So most heedfully.
Being once perfected how to grant suits, how to deny them, who to advance, and who to trash for o'ertopping, having both the key of officer and office, set all hearts in the state to what tune pleased his ear. Thou attend'st not.
Oh, good sir, I do.
I prithee, mark me. I, thus neglecting worldly ends, all dedicated to closeness and the bettering of my mind, by being so retired, in my false brother awaked an evil nature. He, being thus lauded, did believe he was indeed Milan. Hence his ambition growing. Dost thou hear?
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness.
To have no screen between the part he played and him he played it for. He needs will be absolute Milan. Me, poor man, my library was dukedom large enough. Of temporal royalties he thinks me now forever incapable.
Oh, the heavens!
Mark his condition and the event. Then tell me if this might be a brother. Now, the condition. The King of Naples, being an enemy to me inveterate, hearkens my brother's suit, which was that he, in the lure of the premises of homage, and I know not how much tribute, should presently extirpate me and mine out of the dukedom, and confer fair Milan with all the honours on my brother, whereon a treacherous army levied one midnight, fated to the purpose, did Antonio open the gates of Milan, and in the dead of darkness, the ministers for the purpose hurried thence, me and thy crying self.
Alack for pity! I not remembering how I cried out then will cry it o'er again. It is a hint that rings mine eyes to it.
Here a little further, and then I'll bring thee to this present business which now's upon us, without the which my story were most impertinent.
Wherefore did they not that hour destroy us?
Well demanded, wench. My tale provokes that question. Dear, they durst not. So dear the love my people bore to me. In few, they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a boat, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast. The very rats instinctively had quit it. There they hoist us, to sigh to the winds that roared to us, to cry to the seas, whose pity, sighing back again, did us but loving wrong.
Alack, what trouble was I then to you?
Oh, a cherubin thou wast, that did preserve me. Thou didst smile, infused with a fortitude from heaven, when I had decked the seas with drops full sought, under my burthen groaned, which raised in me an undergoing stomach, to bear up against what should ensue.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine. Some food we had, and some fresh water, that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity, being appointed master of the design, did give us with fresh garments, linens, stuffs, and necessaries. Knowing I loved my books, he furnished me from mine own library with volumes I prized above my dukedom.
Would I might but ever see that man.
Now I arise. Sit still and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here in this island we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princesses can, that have more time for vainer hours and tutors not so careful.
Heaven thank you for it. And now, I pray you, sir, for stilt is beating in my mind. Your reason for raising this sea storm.
Know thus, far forth, by accident most strange, bountiful fortune, now, my dear lady, hath mine enemies brought to this shore, and by my prescience I find my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influence, which now, if I court not but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. Here, cease thy questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. It is a good dullness, and give it way. I know thou canst not choose. Come away, servant, come! I am ready now. Approach, my Ariel, come!
All hail, great master! Grave sir, hail! I come to answer thy best pleasure, be it to fly,
To swim! To dive into the fire! To ride on the curled clouds!
thy strong bidding, task Ariel.
And all his quality!
Hast thou spirit to perform to point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article! To every article!
To every article, I boarded the king's ship.
Now on the beak! Now in the waist! On the deck! In every cabin!
I flamed amazement. Sometimes I divide and burn in many places,
On the topmast! The yard! The bowsprit!
but I flame distinctly, then meet and join Jove's lightnings, the precursors of the dreadful thunderclaps, more momentary and sight outrunning were not. The fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble, yea, his dread trident shake.
Why, that's my spirit, who was so firm, so constant, that this coil would not infect his reason.
Not a soul but felt a fever of the mad and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged in the foaming brine and quit the vessel. Then all afire with me. The king's son, Ferdinand, with hair upstaring, then like reeds not hair, was the first man that leapt, cried,
Hell is empty and all the devils are here.
That's my brave spirit. But was not this nigh shore?
close by, my master.
But are they, Ariel, safe?
Not a hair perished. On their sustaining garments, not a blemish, but fresher than before. And as thou badest me in troops, I have dispersed them about the isle. The king's son have I landed by himself, whom I left cooling of the air with sighs, in an odd angle of the isle, and sitting, his arms in this sad knot. Safely in harbours the king's ship, the mariners all under hatches stowed, who with a charm joined to their suffered labours, I have left asleep. And for the rest of the fleet, which I dispersed, they have all met again, and are upon a Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples, supposing they saw the king's ship wrecked and his great person perish.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed. But there's more work. What is the time of day?
Past the mid-season.
At least 2 glasses. The time twixt 6 and now must by us both be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou didst give me pains, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
How now? Moody? What is't thou canst demand?
My liberty?
Before the time be out, no more.
I prithee, remember I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made thee no mistakes, served without grudge or grumbling. Thou did promise to bait me a full year.
Dost thou forget from what a torment I did free thee?
No.
Thou dost. And think it much to tread the ooze of the salt deep, to run upon the sharp winds of the north, to do me business in the veins of the earth when it is baked with frost?
I do not, sir.
Thou liest! Malignant thing! Hast thou forgot the foul witch Sycorax, who with age and envy was grown into a hoop? Hast thou forgot her?
No, sir.
Thou hast. Where was she born? Speak. Tell me.
Sir, in Algiers.
Oh, was she so? I must once in a month recount what thou hast been, which thou forgetst. This damned witch Sycorax, for mischiefs manifold and sensories terrible to enter human hearing, from Algiers, thou know'st, was banished. For one thing she did, they would not take her life. Is not this true?
Aye, sir.
This blue-eyed hag was hither brought with child, and here was left by the sailors. Thou, my slave, as thou reportst thyself, was then her servant. And for thou wast a spirit too delicate to act her earthy and abhorred commands, refusing her grand hests, she did confine thee, and in her most unmitigable rage, into a cloven pine, within which rift painfully thou didst remain a dozen years, within which space she died, and left thee there, where thou didst vent thy groans, as fast as mill wheels strike. Then was this island, save for the sun that she did litter here, a freckled whelp, hag-born, not honoured with a human shape.
Yes, Caliban, her son.
Dull thing, I say so. He, that Caliban, whom now I keep in service. Thou best know'st what torment I did find thee in. Thy howls did make wolves wild, and penetrate the breasts of ever angry bears. It was a din to lay upon the damned, which Sycorax could not then again undo. It was my art, when I arrived and heard thee, made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou more murmurest, I will rend an oak, and pegged thee in his knotty entrails till thou wast howled away 12 winters.
Pardon, master. I will be correspondent to command and do my spiriting gently.
Do so, and in 2 days I will release thee.
That's my noble master. What shall we do? Say what? What shall we do?
Go, make thyself like a nymph of the sea. Be subject to no sight but thine and mine, invisible to every eyeball else. Go, take this shape, and hither bring the king's son. Hence, with diligence. Awake, dear one, awake. Thou hast slept well. Awake.
The strangeness of your story put heaviness in me.
Shake it off. Come on, we'll visit Caliban, my slave, who never yields us kind answer.
'Tis a villain, sir, I do not love to look on.
But as 'tis, we cannot miss him. He does make our fire, fetch in our wood, and serves in offices that profit us. What out, slave, Caliban? Thou earth thou, speak.
There's wood enough within.
There's other business for thee. Come forth, I say. Thou poisonous slave, got by the devil himself upon thy wicked dam. Come forth!
As wicked you as ere my mother brushed, with raven's feather from unwholesome fen, drop on you both. A southwest blow on ye, and blister ye all.
For this, be sure tonight, thou shalt have cramps, side stitches that shall pen thy breath up. Thou shalt be pinched thick, each pinch more stinging than beasts that made 'em.
I must eat my dinner. This island's mine, by Sycorax my mother, which thou takest from me. When thou camest first, thou strokest me, and made much of me, would give me water with berries in it, and teach me how to name the bigger light, and how the less that burn by day and night. And then I loved thee, showed thee all the qualities of the isle, the fresh springs, the brine pits, the barren place, and fertile. Accursed be that I did so. All the charms of Sycorax, toads, beetles, bats, light on you! Foosh! I am all the subjects that you have, which first was mine own king. And here you do stymie in this hard rock, whilst you do keep me from the rest of the island.
Thou most lying slave, whom stripes may move, not kindness. I have used thee, filth as thou art, with human care, and lodged thee in mine own cell, till thou didst seek to violate the honour of my child.
Oh, how! Oh, how! Wouldst had been done! Thou didst prevent me. I have peopled else this isle with Caliban.
A horrid slave, which any prince of goodness will not take, being capable of all ill. I pitied thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each hour one thing or other. When thou didst not, savage, know thine own meaning, but wouldst gabble like a thing most brutish, I endowed thy purposes with words that made them known. But thy vile race, though thou didst learn, had that in it which good natures could not abide to be with, therefore wast thou deservedly confined unto this rock, who hast deserved more than a prison.
You taught me language, and my profit on it is I know how to curse. A red plague rid you for learning me your language.
Hag seed, hence, and fetch us in fuel. Be quick, thou best, to answer other business. Shrugg'st thou malice? If thou neglects, or dost unwillingly what I command, I'll rack thee with old cramp, fill all thy bones with aches, make thee roar, that beasts shall tremble at thy din.
No! Pray thee! I must obey. His art is of such power, it would control my damned god Setibus and make a vassal of him.
So slave, hence.
Where should this music be? In the air or the earth? It sounds no more, and sure it waits upon some god of the island. Sitting on a bank, weeping again the king, my father's wrack. This music crept by me upon the waters, allaying both their fury and my passion with its sweet air. Thence I have followed it, or it hath drawn me rather, but it is gone. No! It begins again! I've thy father eyes and souls that words eyes, nothing of not set free. Dark suffer remember my drowned father. This is no mortal business, nor no sound that the earth owes. I hear it now above me.
Fringed curtains of thine eye advance. Say, what seest thou yon?
What is? A spirit? Lord, how it looks about. Believe me, sir, it carries a brave form. But is a spirit.
No, wench. It eats and sleeps and hath such senses as we have. Such. This gallant which thou seest was in the wreck, and, but he's somewhat stained with grief. Thou mightst call him a goodly person. He hath lost his fellows, and strays about to find them.
I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
It goes on, I see, as my soul prompts it. Spirit, fine spirit, I'll free thee within 2 days for this.
Most sure the goddess on whom these airs attend. vouchsafe my prayer, may know if you remain upon this island, and that you will some good instruction give how I may bear me here. My prime request, which I do last pronounce, is, oh, you wonder, if you be maid or no.
No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid.
My language! Heavens! I am the best that speak this speech, were I but where 'tis spoken.
How the best? What wert thou if the King of Naples heard thee?
A single thing as I am now, that wonders to hear thee speak of Naples. He does hear me, and that he does I weep. Myself am Naples, who with mine eyes never since have e'er beheld the king, my father, racked.
Alack for mercy!
Yes, faith, and all his lords.
At the first sight they have changed eyes. Delicate Ariel, I'll set thee free for this. A word, good sir. I fear you have done yourself some wrong. A word!
Why speaks my father so ungently? This is the third man that ever I saw. The first that e'er I sighed for. Pity moved my father to be inclined my way.
Oh, if a virgin, and your affection not gone forth, I'll make you the Queen of Naples.
Soft, sir! One word more. They are both in either's powers, but this swift business I must uneasy make, lest too light winning make the prize light. One word more! I charge thee that thou attend me. Thou hast here usurped the name thou owest not, and hast put thyself upon this island as a spy to win it from me, the Lord on't.
No, as I am a man.
As nothing ill can dwell in such a temple. If the ill spirit have so fair a house, good things will strive to dwell with it.
Follow me. Speak not you for him. He's a traitor. Come on. I'll manacle thy neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink. Thy food shall be the fresh brook mussels, withered roots, and husks wherein the acorn cradled. Follow.
No. I will resist such entertainment until my enemy has more power.
Oh, dear father, make not too rash a trial of him, for he's gentle and not fearful.
I say, I can here disarm thee with this stick.
Beseech you, father!
Hence, hang not on my garments.
Did thou have pity, I'll be his surety.
Silence! One word more shall make me chide thee, if not hate thee. What? An advocate for an impostor? Hush! For thou thinkst there is no more such shapes as he, having seen but him and Caliban. Foolish wench. To most of men, this is a Caliban, and they to him are angels.
My affections are then most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man.
Obey! Come on! Thy nerves are in their infancy again, and have no vigour in them.
So they are. My spirits, as in a dream, are all bound up. My father's loss, the weakness which I feel, the wrack of all my friends, and this man's threats to whom I am subdued are but light to me. Might I but through my prison once a day behold this maid. All corners else of the earth, let liberty make use of. Space enough have I in such a prison.
It works. Come on! Thou hast done well, fine Ariel. Follow me. Hark what else thou shalt do me.
Be of comfort. My father's of a better nature, sir, than he appears by speech. This is unwanted which now came from him.
Come on. Follow. Speak not for him. Thou hast done well, my bird. In 2 days thou shalt be free, but yet all points due of my command.
To the syllable.
Beseech you, sir, be merry. You have cause. So have we all of joy, for our escape is much beyond our laws. Our hint of woe is common. Every day some sailor's wife, the masters of a merchant, and the merchant have just our theme of woe. But for the miracle, I mean our preservation, few in millions can speak like us. Then, wisely, good sir, weigh our sorrow with our comfort.
Prithee, peace!
He receives comfort like cold porridge.
The visitor will not give him urso.
Look, he's winding up the watch of his wit. By and by it will strike.
Sir?
One. Tell.
When every grief is entertained that's offered, comes to the entertainer.
$1.
The Lord comes to him indeed. You have spoken truer than you purposed.
You have taken it wiselier than I meant you should.
Therefore, my lord,
Fie, what a spendthrift to see of his tongue!
it must needs be of subtle, tender, and delicate temperance.
Temperance was a delicate way.
And as subtle as he most learnedly delivered.
The air breathes upon us here most sweetly.
As if it had lungs and rotten ones.
Or as 'twere perfumed by a fen.
Here is everything advantageous to life.
True, save means to live it.
Of that there's none or little.
How lush and lusty the grass looks. How green.
The ground is indeed tawny.
With an eye of green in it.
He misses not much.
Nay, he doth but mistake the truth totally.
But the rarity of it is, which is indeed almost beyond credit,
Many vouched rarities are.
that our garments, being as they were drenched in the sea, hold notwithstanding their freshness and gloss, being rather nudite than stained with salt water.
If but one of his pockets could speak, would it not say he lied?
Aye, very falsely pocket up his report.
Methinks our garments are now as fresh as when we put them on first in Africa at the marriage of the king's fair daughter Caliban to the king of Tunis.
Oh, 'twas a sweet marriage, and we prosper well in our return. I think he would take this island home in his pocket and give it to his son for an apple.
And sowing the kernels in the sea, bring forth more islands.
Sir, we were talking that our garments are now as fresh as when we were in Tunis at the marriage of your daughter, who is now queen.
The rarest that ever came there.
Is not, sir, my doublet as fresh as the first day I wore it? I mean, in a sort?
That sort was well fished for.
When I wore it at your daughter's marriage?
Cram these words into mine ears against the stomach of my sense. Would I have never married my daughter there, for in coming thence my son is lost, and in my rate she too is lost, who is so far from Italy removed I ne'er again shall see her. O mine heir of Naples and Milan, what strange fish hath made its meal on thee?
Sir, he may live.
No, he's gone.
Sir, you may thank yourself for this great loss, which would not bless our Europe with your daughter, but rather lose her to an African. Whereby at least she is banished from your eye. Who hath cause to wet the grape on it?
Prithee, peace.
You were kneeled to and importuned otherwise by all of us. And the fair soul herself, weighed between loathness and obedience, at which end of the beam should bow. We have lost your son. I fear forever. Milan and Naples have more widows in them of this business' making than we being meant to comfort them. The fault is your own.
So is the dearest of the lost.
My lord Sebastian, the truth you speak doth lack some gentleness and time to speak it in. You robbed the sword when you should bring the plaster.
Very well.
It is foul weather in us all, good sir, when you are cloudy.
Foul weather.
Very foul.
Had I plantation of this isle, my lord,
He'd sow it with nettle seeds.
Or docks or mallow.
and were the king on't, what would I do?
Escape being drunk for want of wine.
In the Commonwealth, I would by contraries execute all things, for no kind of traffic would I admit, no name of magistrate. Letters should not be known. Riches, poverty, and use of service, none. Contract, succession, born, bound of land, tilth, vineyard, none. No use of metal, corn, or wine, or oil. All men idle. All. And women too, but innocent and pure. No sovereignty.
Though he would be king on it.
The latter end of his commonwealth forgets the beginning.
All things in common nature should produce without sweat or endeavor. Treason, felony, sword, pike, knife, gun, or need of any engine would I not have. But nature should bring forth of its own kind all poison, all abundance to feed my innocent people.
No marrying among his subjects?
None, man, all idle whores and knaves.
I would with such perfection govern, sir, to excel the golden age.
Oh, God save his majesty!
Long live Gonzalo.
And do you mark me, sir?
Ready? No more. Thou dost talk nothing to me.
I do well believe, your highness, and did it to minister occasion to these gentlemen, who are of such sensible and nimble lungs that always used to laugh at nothing.
'Twas you we laughed at.
Who in this kind of merry fooling am nothing to you, so you may continue and laugh at nothing still.
Oh, what a blow was there given.
You are gentlemen of brave metal. You would lift the moon out of her sphere if she would continue it for 5 weeks without changing.
We would so, and then go bat fouling.
Nay, my good lord, be not angry.
No, I warrant you, I will not adventure my discretion so weakly. Now, will you laugh me asleep? For I am very heavy.
Go sleep and hear us.
What? So soon asleep? I wish mine eyes would with themselves shut up my thoughts. Find they're inclined to do so.
Prithee, sir, do not omit the heavy off of it. It seldom visits sorrow, and when it doth, it is a comforter.
We too, my lord, will guard your person whilst you take your rest, and watch your safety.
Thank you. Wondrous heavy.
What strange drowsiness possesses them?
It's the quality of the climate.
Why then doth it not my eyelids sink? I find not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I, my spirits are nimble. They fell together all as by consent. They dropped as by a thunderstroke. What might, worthy Sebastian? Oh, what might? No more. And yet methinks I see it in thy face, what thou shouldest be. The occasion speaks to thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping on your head.
What? Art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do. Surely 'tis a sleepy language, and thou speakest out of thy sleep. What is thou to say? 'Tis a strange repose to be asleep, with eyes wide open, standing, speaking, moving, yet so fast asleep.
Noble Sebastian, thou lettest thy fortune sleep, die rather, winkest, whilst thou art waking.
Thou snorest distinctly, there's meaning in thy snore.
I am more serious than is my custom, and you must be so too, if heed me, which to do trebles the earth.
I'm standing water.
I'll teach you how to flow.
I do so, to ebb, for hereditary sloth instructs me.
Oh, but if you only knew how you the purpose cherish, whilst you mock it, how in stripping it you more invest it. Ebbing men more often do so near the bottom run by their own fear or sloth.
Pretty. Say on. The fetching of mine eye and cheek proclaim a matter from thee, and a birth indeed which holds thee much to yield.
Thus, sir, although this lord of weak remembrance, this that shall be of as little memory when he is earth, hath here almost persuaded, for he's a spirit of persuasion, only professes to persuade the king his son's alive, 'tis as impossible that he's undrowned as he that sleeps here swims.
But I have no hope that he's undrowned.
Oh, out of that no hope, what great hope have you? No hope that way is another way, so high a hope that even ambition cannot pierce a wink beyond, but doubt discovery. Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned?
Well, he's gone.
Then tell me, who's the next heir of Naples?
Caliban.
She that is Queen of Tunis. She that dwells 10 leagues beyond man's life. She that from Naples, that can have no note, unless the sun be post. The man the moon's too slow, till newborn chins be rough and razorable. She that from whom? We all were sea swallowed, though some cast again, and by that destiny to perform an act whereof what's past is prologue, what's to come in yours and my discharge.
What stuff is this, how say you? 'Tis true, my brother's daughter's queen of Tunis, so too is the heir of Naples, twixt which regions there is some space.
A space whose every cubit seems to cry out, how shall this Clarabel measure us back to Naples? Keep a Tunis, and let Sebastian wake. Say this were death that now hath seized them. Why, they were no worse than now they are. There be that can rule Naples as well as he that sleeps. Lords that can prate as amply and as unnecessarily as this Gonzalo. Why, I myself could make a chuff of his deep chat. Oh, that you bore the mind that I did. What a sleep were this for your advancement. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tender your own good fortune?
I do remember you did supplant your brother Prospero.
True. And look how well my garments sit upon me. Much feeter than they were before. My brother's fellows were then my servants, now they are my men.
But for your conscience.
Aye, sir, where lies that? 20 consciences that stand twixt me and Milan. Candid be they, and melt ere they molest. Here lies your brother. No better than the ground he lies upon, if he were that which now he's like, that's dead. Whom I can lay to bed forever, whilst you, doing thus to the perpetual wink for eye, might put this ancient morsel, this Sir Prudence, who should not upbraid our course. As for all the rest, they'll take suggestion as a cat laps milk. They'll tell the clock to whatever business we say befits the hour.
Thy case, dear friend, shall be my precedent. As thou goest to Milan, I'll come by Naples. Draw thy blade. One stroke shall free thee from the tribute which thou payest, and I, the king, will love thee.
Draw together, and when I rear my hand, do you the like, and fall it on Gonzalo.
Oh, but one word.
My master, through his art, foresees the danger that you, his friends, are in, and sends us forth, for else his project dies, to keep them living.
Looking.
What's the matter?
Whilst we stood securing your repose, even now we heard a hollow burst of bellowing of bulls, or rather lions. Did that wake you?
I heard
Struck
nothing.
my ear most terribly.
Nothing, I heard nothing.
Oh, 'twas a din to strike a monster's ear, to make an earthquake. For sure, it was the roar of a whole herd of lions.
Heard you this, Gonzalo?
Upon mine honor, sir, I heard a humming, and that a strange one too, which did awake me. As mine eyes opened, I saw their weapons drawn. There was a noise, that's verily. 'Tis best we stand upon our guard, or that we quit this place. Let's draw weapons.
Let's off this ground and make fresh search for my poor son.
Heavens keep him from these beasts, for he is sure in the island.
Lead away.
Prospero, my lord, shall know what I have done. So, king, go safely on to seek thy son.
All the infections that the sun sucks up, from bogs, fens, flats, on Prosper fall, and make him by inch meal a disease. His spirits hear me, and yet I needs must curse. But he'll not pinch, fright me with urchin shows, pitch me in the mire, nor lead me like a firebrand in the dark out of my way, unless he bid him. But for every trifle they set upon me, sometimes like apes that mow and chatter at me, and after bite me, and then hedgehogs who lie tumbling in my barefoot way and mount their pricks at my footfall. Sometimes am I all wound with adders, who with cloven tongues do hiss me into madness. Now lo, here comes a spirit of his, and to torment me for bringing wood in slowly. I'll fall flat, perchance he will not mind me.
There's neither bush nor shrub to bear off any weather at all. And another storm brewing. I hear it sing in the wind. Yon black cloud, yon huge one looks like a foul bombard that would share his liquor. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's a thunder, as did before, and none of where to hide my head, yon same cloud cannot choose but fall by pailfuls. What have we here? A man or a fish? Dead or alive? Yep, a fish. He smells like a fish. Very ancient and fish-like smell. A kind of, not of the newest poor John. A strange fish. Legged like a man. And his fins like arms. Warm? Oh my troth. No, I do no let loose my opinion, hold it. No longer. This is no fish, but an islander that hath lately suffered by a thunderbolt. Alas, the storm has come again. Oh, my best way is to creep under his gabardine. But there's no other shelter hereabout. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. I will here shroud until the dregs of the storm are past.
Very scurvy tune to sing at a man's funeral. Well, here's my company. The master, the swabber, the boatswain and guy, the gunner and his mates, love Megan, Marion and Marjorie, but none of us cared for Kate, for she had a tongue with a tang, would cry to a sailor, go hang. She loved not the savour of tar or of pitch, though a tailor might scratch her where'er she did pitch. So to sea, boys, and let her go hang. So to sea, boys, and let her go hang. This is a very scurvy tune too. But here's my comfort.
Do not torment me!
What's the matter? Have we devils here? Do you put tricks upon us with savages and men of inns? Ha! I have not escaped drowning to be afeard of your forelegs. For it had been said, as proper man as ever went on 4 legs, cannot make him give ground,
and so it shall be said so again while Stefano breathes at nostrils.
The spirit torments me!
Oh! This is some monster of the isle who hath got, as I take it, an ague. Where the devil shall he learn our language? I will give him some relief if it be but for that. If I can recover him and keep him tame and get to Naples with him, he's a present for any emperor that ever trod on neat's leather.
Do not torment me! Prithee, I will bring my wood home faster!
Oh, is it his fit now? Does not talk after the wisest. He shall drink of my bottle. If he had never drunk wine afore, it will go near to remove his fit.
Thou dost me yet but little harm. Thou wilt not, I know it by thy trembling. Now prosper works upon thee.
Come your ways. Open your mouth. Here is that which will give you language, cat. I can tell you, and that soundly. Oh. You cannot tell who's your friend. Open your chaps again.
I should know that voice. No, it should be. But he is drowned, and these are devils. Oh, defend me!
4 legs and 2 voices, a most delicate monster. His forward voice is to speak well of his friend, and his backward voice is to utter foul speeches and to detract. If all the wine in my bottle will recover him, I will help his ague. Come, amen. I'll pour some in thy other mouth.
Stefano!
To thy other mouth call me! Mercy, mercy, this is a devil and no monster. I will leave him, I have no long spoon.
Stefano! If thou beest, Stefano, touch me and speak to me, for I am Trinculo. Be not afeard, thy good friend, Trinculo.
If thou beest Trinculo, come forth. I'll pull thee by thy lesser legs. If any be Trinculo's legs, these are they. Thou art very Trinculo indeed. How camest thou neath this moon car?
I took him to be killed by a thunderstroke. Art thou not drowned, Stefano? I hope thou art not drowned. It's a storm all blown. I hid me under the dead moon calf's gabardine for fear of the storm, but art thou living, Stefano? Oh, Stefano! Tell me upon it instead.
Oh, I prithee do not tell me about. My stomach is not constant.
These be fine things, and if they be not stripes, that's a brave God and bear celestial liquor. I will kneel to him.
Swear how thou escapest. How camest thou hither? Swear by this bottle how thou camest hither. I escaped upon the butt of a sack that some sailors heaved o'erboard. By this bottle.
I'll swear upon this bottle to be thy true subject, for the liquor is not earthly.
Here. Swear then how thou escapest.
I swam ashore, man, like a duck. I can swim like a duck, I'll be sworn.
Here. Kiss the book. Though thou canst swim like a duck, thou art made like a goose.
Oh, Stefano, hast any more of it?
Oh, the whole butt, man. My cellar is in a rock by the seaside where my wine is hid. How now, Mooncock, how does thine ague?
Hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Oh, out to the moon, man, I do assure thee. For I was the man in the moon when time was.
I have seen thee in her, and I do adore thee. My mistress showed me thee, and thy dog, and thy bush.
Oh, come. Here, kiss the book. I will furnish it with new contents anon, swear.
By this good light, this is a very shallow monster. But I have feared of him. Very weak monster. The man of the moon. A most poor, credulous monster. Well-drawn monster, in good sooth.
I'll show thee every fertile inch of the island. I'll kiss thy foot. I prithee, be my God.
By this light, a most perfidious and drunken monster. When God's asleep, he'll rob his bottle.
I'll kiss thy foot. I'll swear myself thy subject.
Come on then,
down and swear.
I should laugh myself to death at this puppy-headed monster. I could find it in my heart to beat him.
Come, kiss.
Oh, but the poor monster's in drink, an abominable monster.
Oh, I'll show thee the best springs. I'll fish for thee. I'll get thee wood enough. A plague upon the tyrant that I serve. I'll bear him no more sticks, but follow thee, thou wondrous man.
Oh, a most ridiculous monster to make wonder of a poor drunkard.
I prithee, let me bring thee where crabs grow, and I, with my long nails, will dig thee pig nuts. I'll show thee a jay's nest, and I'll bring thee to clustering filberts, and sometime I'll get thee young scammers from the rock. Wilt thou go with me?
I prithee lead the way, without any more talking. Trinculo, our king and all our company else being drowned, we will inherit him. Here, fellow Trinculo, bear my bottle. We will fill him by and by again.
Farewell, class.
A howling monster? A drunken monster?
No more dams I'll make for fish, nor fetch in firing and requiring, nor scrape trencher, nor wash dish. Ban, Caliban, has a new master, get a new man. Freedom, hide, freedom, hide, freedom. Freedom!
Oh, brave monster! Lead the way!
There be some sports are painful, and their labour delight in them sets off. Some kinds of baseness are nobly undergone, and most poor matters point to rich ends. This, my mean task, would be as heavy to me as odious, but the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead and makes my labours pleasures. She is 10 times more gentle than her father's crabs, and he is composed of harshness. I must remove some thousands of these logs and pile them up upon a soaring junction. My sweet mistress weeps when she sees me work, and says such baseness had never like executor. I forget, but these sweet thoughts do even refresh my labours, most busyless when I do it.
Alas! Now pray you work not so hard. I would the lightning had burnt up those logs that you were enjoined to pile. Pray, set it down and rest you. When this burns, 'twill weep for having wearied you. My father is hard at study. Pray now rest yourself. He's safe for these 3 hours.
No. The sun will set before I shall discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs the while. Pray, give me that. I'll carry it to the pile.
No, precious creature. I had rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you should such dishonour undergo while I sit lazy by.
It would become me as well as it does you. And I should do it with far more ease. For my goodwill is to it, and yours is against.
Poor worm, thou art infected. This visitation shows it.
You look wearily.
Oh, no, noble mistress. 'Tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you, chiefly that I might set it in my prayers. What is your name?
Miranda. Oh, my father, I've broke your hest to say so.
Oh, admired Miranda. Indeed, the top of admiration. Worth what's dearest to the world. Full many a lady I have eyed with best regard, and many a time the harmony of their tongue hath into bondage brought my too diligent ear. For several virtues I have liked several women. Never any with so full soul, but had some defect in her, did quarrel with the noblest grace she owed, and put it to the foil. But you, oh you, so perfect and so peerless, are created of every creature's best.
I do not know one of my sex. No woman's face remember, save from my glass mine own. Nor have I seen more that I may call men than you, good friend, and my dear father. How features are abroad, I am skillless of, but by my modesty, the jewel in my dower, I would not wish any companion in the world but you. Nor can imagination form a shape besides yourself to like of. But I prattle something too wildly, and my father's precepts I daren't to forget.
I am, in my condition, a prince, Miranda. I do think a king. I would not so, and would no more endure this wooden slavery than to suffer the flesh fly blow my mouth. Hear my soul speak. The very instant that I saw you did my heart fly to your service, and there resides to make me slave to it, and for your sake am I this patient logman.
Do you love me?
Oh, heaven! Oh, earth! Bear witness to this sound, and crown what I profess with kind event if I speak true. I, beyond all limit of what else in the world do love, prize, honour you.
I'm a fool to weep what I am glad of.
Fair encounter, two most rare affections. Heavens rain grace on that which breathes between them.
Wherefore weep you?
At mine unworthiness, that dare not offer what I desire to give, and much less take what I shall die to want. But this is trifling, and all the more it seeks to hide itself, the bigger bulk it shows. Hence, bashful cunning, and prompt me plain and holy innocence. I am your wife, if you will marry me. If not, I'll die your maid. To be your fellow, you may deny me, but I'll be your servant whether you will or no.
Oh, my mistress dearest, and I thus humble ever.
My husband then?
I, with a heart as willing as bondage ere of freedom, here is my hand.
And mine, with my heart in it. And now farewell, till half an hour hence.
1,000,000.
So glad of this as they, I cannot be, who are surprised withal. But my rejoicing at nothing could be more. I'll to my book, for yet ere supper time must I perform much business appertaining.
Tell not me when the butter's out, we will drink water, and not a drop before. Therefore, bear up and boredom. Drink to me, servant monster.
Ah, servant monster. Folly this side and this it. There's but 5 upon this isle. We are 3 of them. If the other 2 be brained like us, the steep taught us.
Drink, servant monster, when I bid thee. Ooh, thy eyes are almost set in thy head.
Well, where should they be set else? You are a brave monster indeed if they were set in his tail.
Thy man monster hath drowned his tongue in sack. For my part, The sea could not drown me. I swam here ere I could recover the shore, 5 and 30 leagues off and on. But by this light monster, you shall be my lieutenant, or my standard.
Your lieutenant, if you list. He's no standard.
Will not run, Monsieur Monster.
No go, neither. But lie like dogs and say nothing, neither.
Moo calf. Speak once in thy life, if thou beest a good moon calf.
How does thy honour let me lick your shoe? I'll not serve him. He is not valiant.
Thou liest, most ignorant monster. I'm encased to jostle a constable. Why have the bust fish thou? Was there ever man a coward to the drunkards much shot as I have today? Well, don't tell a monstrous lie, Finn, but half a pigeon, half a monster.
No, how he mocks me. Wilt thou let him? My lord!
Oh, my lord, quoth thee, that a monster should be such a natural.
No, again! Bite him to death, I prithee.
Trinculo, keep a good tongue in thy head. If you prove a mutineer, the next tree. This poor monster's my subject, and shall not suffer indignity.
I thank my noble lord. Wilt thou be pleased to hearken once again to the suit I made to thee?
Marry will I. Kneel and repeat it. I will stand, and so shall Trinculo.
As I told thee before, I am subject to a sorcerer, a tyrant who by his cunning hath cheated me of the island.
Thou liest!
Thou liest, thou jesting monkey, thou! I would my valiant master would destroy thee. I do not lie.
Trinculo, if you are to interrupt the monster once more in his tale, by this hand I will supplant some of your teeth.
Oh, I said nothing.
But none then, and no more. Proceed.
I say by sorcery he got this isle. From me he got it. If thy greatness would revenge it on him, for I know thou darest, but this thing dare not.
That's most certain.
But thou shalt be lord on it, and I'll serve thee.
Oh. Well, how now shall this be compassed? Canst thou bring me to the party?
Yea, my lord. I'll yield him thee asleep, where thou mayest knock a nail into his head.
Thou liest, thou canst not.
What a pied ninny is this, thou scurvy patch? I do beseech thy greatness, give him blows, and take his bottle from him, for when that's gone, he shall drink naught but brine, for I'll not show him where the quick freshes are.
Trinculo, run into no further danger. If you interrupt this monster one word further, by this hand I'll turn my mercy out of the doors and make a stockfish of thee.
Why, what did I? I did nothing. A goof on off.
Did he not say lie?
Thou liest!
Do I so? Well, take thou that. Oh, as you like this, give me the lie another time.
I did not give the lie. God, all your wits and bearing to a pox, you goner. This can suck and drink and do a marine on your monster, and the devil take your fingers.
Now, forward with your tale, prithee. Stand farther off.
I'll beat him enough. After a little time, I'll beat him too.
Prithee, stand farther. Come, proceed.
As I told thee before, 'tis a custom with him in the afternoon to sleep. There thou mayest brain him, having first seized his books, or with a log batter his skull, or pounce him with a stake, or cut his weasand with thy knife. Remember, first to possess his books, for he has brave utensils, for so he calls them, which, when he has a house, he'll deck withal. And that most deeply to consider is the beauty of his daughter. He himself calls her a nonpareil. I never saw a woman, but only Sycorax, my dam, and she. But she has far surpassed Sycorax as greatest does least.
Is it so, brave alas?
Aye, my lord. She will become thy bed, I warrant, and bring thee forth brave brood.
Whoa! Ha ha! Well, monster! I will kill this man, and his daughter and I will be king and queen. Save our graces. And thyself and Trinculo will be viceroys. Dost thou like the plot, Trinculo?
Excellent.
Well, give me thy hand. I am sorry I beat thee. But while thou livest, keep a good tongue in thy head.
Within this half hour will he be asleep. Wilt thou destroy him then?
Aye, on my honour.
This I will tell my master.
Thou makest me merry. I am full of pleasure. Let us be jocund. Will you troll the catch you taught me but a while ere?
At thy request, monster. We'll give reason any reason. Now come on, Trinculo, let us sing. Flautum and scoutum and scoutum and flautum. What is it?
No, that's not the tune.
What's this say?
No, this is the tune of our catch, but played by the picture of nobody.
If thou beest a man, show thyself in thy likeness. If thou beest the devil, tempt us thou list.
Oh, forgive me my sin!
Even time's basil debt, I defy thee, mercy upon us!
Art thou afeard?
No, monster, not I.
Be not afeard. The isle is full of noises, sounds and sweet airs that give delight. Not. Sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments will hum about mine ears, and sometimes voices that if I then had waked after long sleep, will make me sleep again. And then, in dreaming, the clouds methought would open and show riches ready to drop upon me. But when I waked, I cried to dream again.
This will prove a brave kingdom to me, where I shall have my music for nothing.
When Prospero is destroyed.
This will be by and by. I remember the story.
The sound is going away. Let's follow it, and after do our work.
Lead, monster, that will follow.
Wilt come? I'll follow the bono.
Oh, by your lakin, I can go no further, sir. My old bones ache. Here's some maize trod indeed, through forthrights and meanders. By your patience, I needs must rest me.
Oh Lord, I cannot blame thee, who am myself attached with weariness to the dulling of my spirit. Sit down and rest. Even here, I will put off my hope and keep it no longer for my stutterer. He's drowned, whom thus we stray to find, and the sea mocks our frustrate search on land. Well, let him go.
I'm right glad that he's so out of hope. Do not for one repulse forego the purpose that you resolve to effect.
The next advantage will we take thoroughly.
Let's take tonight. For now they are pressed with travel, they will not nor cannot use such vigilance as when they are fresh.
I say tonight, no more.
What harmony is this, my good friends? Hark!
Marvelous, sweet music.
Give us, kind keepers, heavens, what are these?
A living drollery. Now I will believe that there are unicorns. That in Arabia there is one tree, the phoenix throne, one phoenix at this hour reigning there.
I'll believe both. And what does else want credit come to me? And I'll be sworn 'tis true. Travellers ne'er did lie, no fools at home condemn him.
If in Naples I should report this now, would they believe me? If I should say I saw such islanders, yet note their manners are more gentle, kind, than of our human generation you shall find many, nay, almost any.
Honest Lord, thou hast spoke well. For some of you there present are worse than devils.
I cannot too much muse such sights, such gestures, and such sounds expressing although they want the use of tongue, a kind of excellent, dumb discourse.
Praise in departing.
They vanished strangely.
No matter. Since they have left their viands behind for we of stomachs, will please your taste of what is here.
Not I.
Faith, sir, you need not fear.
I will stand to and feel, although my last. No matter, for I feel the best is past. Brother, my lord, the duke, stand to and do as we.
You are three men of sin, whom destiny that hath to instrument this lower world and what is in it, the never surfeited sea hath caused to belch up you. And on this island, where man doth not inhabit, you mongst men being most unfit to live, we have made you mad. And even with such like valor, men hang and drown their proper selves. You fools! I and my fellows are ministers of fate. The elements with whom your blades are tempered may as well wound the loud winds, or with bemocked at stabs kill the still closing waters, as diminish one dowel that's in my plume. My fellow ministers are like invulnerable. If you could hurt, your blades are now too massy for your strength and will not be uplifted. But remember, for that's my business to you, that you three from Milan did supplant good Prospero, exposed unto the sea which hath requited him and his innocent child. For which foul deed the powers delaying, not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores, yea, all the creatures, against your peace. Thee of thy son Alonso they have bereft, and do pronounce by me lingering perdition, worse than any death can be at once, shall step by step attend you and your ways, whose wrath to guard you from, which here on this most desolate isle else falls upon your heads, is nothing but heart's sorrow and a clear life ensuing.
Bravely the figure of this harpy hast thou performed, my Ariel. A grace it had devouring. My high charms were, and these mine enemies are all knit up in their distractions. They now are in my power, and in these fits I leave them, while I visit young Ferdinand, whom they suppose is drowned, and his and mine loved darling.
In the name of something holy, sir, why stand you in such strange stare?
Oh, it is monstrous, monstrous! Methought the billows roared and told me of it. The winds did sing it to me, and the thunder, that deep and dreadful organ pipe, pronounced the name of Prosper. Therefore, my son in the ooze is bedded, and I will seek him deeper than e'er plummeted sound, and there with him lie mudded.
But one fiend at a time. I'll fight the Legion Tower.
I'll be thy second.
The three of them are desperate. Their great guilt, like poison given to work, a great time after, now begins to bite the spirit.
If I have too austerely punished you, your compensation makes amends. For I've given you here a third of mine own life, or that for which I live. Who once again I tender to thy hand. All thy vexations were but my trials of thy love, and strangely hast thou stood the test. Here, before heaven, I ratify this, my rich gift. O Ferdinand, do not smile at me that I boast her off. Thou shalt find she will outstrip all praise, and make it halt behind her.
I do believe it, against an oracle.
Therefore, as my gift, and thine own acquisition worthily purchased, take my daughter. But if thou breakst her virgin not, before all sanctimonious ceremonies may with full and holy rite be ministered, no sweet aspersion shall the heavens let fall to make this contract grow, but barren hate, sour-eyed disdain, and discord shall bestrew the union of your bed with weeds so loathly that you shall hate it both. Therefore take heed, as Hymen's lights shall lamp you.
As I hope, for quiet days, fair issue, and long life with such love as 'tis now. The murkiest day, the most opportune place, the strongest suggestion that our worst genius can, shall never melt mine honour into lust.
Fairly spoke. Sit then and talk with her. She is thine own. But Ariel, my industrious servant Ariel.
What would my posset master? Here I am.
Thou and thy meaner fellows your last service did worthily perform, and I must use thee in such another trick. For I must bestow upon the eyes of this young couple some vanity of mine art. It is my promise, and they expect it from me.
Presently.
Aye, with a twink.
Before you can say,
Come,
and
go.
and breathe twice and cry,
So.
each one tripping on their toes, will be here with mop and mow. Do you love me, master? No?
Dearly, my delicate Ariel, do not come until I call thee hither.
Well, I conceive.
Look thou, be true. Do not give dalliance too much the rein. The strongest owes a straw to the fire of the blood. Be more abstemious, or else good night your vow.
I warrant you, sir. The white cold virgin snow upon my heart abates the ardour of my liver.
Well, now come, Ariel, bring a corollary rather than want, a spirit, a peer, and pertly. No tongue, all eyes, be silent.
This is a most majestic vision, and harmonious charmingly. May I be bold to think these spirits?
Spirits, which by mine art I have from their confines called to enact my present fancies.
Oh, let me live here ever! So rare a wondered father and a wise. makes this place paradise.
Sweet, now silence. There's something else to do. Hush and be mute, or our spell is marred.
You nymphs, conaias of the wine-drink brooks, with your set crowns and ever harmless looks, leave your crisp channels and on this green land answer your summons. We do command. Contemporaneous and help to celebrate a contract of true love. You sometimes sickle men of August weary, come gather from the far and be merry. Make holiday, make holiday, make holiday. Your right straw hats put on, and these fresh nibs encounter everyone in country footing, in country footing, in country footing.
I had forgot the conspiracy of the beast Caliban and his confederates against my life. The minute of their plot is almost come. Well done! Avoid! No more!
This is strange. Your father's passionate works him strongly.
Never till this day saw I him touched with anger so distempered.
You do look, my son, in a moved sort, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended. These, our actors, as I foretold you, are all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And, like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherit, shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Sir, I am vexed. Bear with my weakness. My old brain is troubled. Be not disturbed with mine infirmity. If you be pleased, repose into my cell and there retire. Eternal to our walk, to still my beating mind.
We wish your peace.
Come with a thought. I thank thee. Ariel, come.
Thy thoughts I cleave to. What's thy pleasure?
Spirit, we must prepare to meet with Caliban.
I, my commander. When I presented spirits, I thought to have told thee of it, but I feared lest I might anger thee.
Say again, where didst thou leave these varlets?
I told you, sir, they were red hot with drinking, so full of valor that they smote the air for breathing in their faces, beat the ground for kissing of their feet, yet always bending towards their project. Then I beat my tabor, at which, like unbacked colts, they pricked their ears, advanced their eyelids, lifted up their noses as they smelt music. So I charmed their ears, that calf like they my lowing followed, through toothed briars, sharp furzes, pricking gores and thorns, which entered their frail shins. At last I left them in the filthy mantled pool beyond your cell, there dancing up to the chins that the foul lake o'er stunk their feet.
'Twas well done, my bird. Thy shape invisible, retain thou still. The trumpery in my cell, go bring it hither, for stale to catch these thieves.
I go!
A devil, a born devil, on whose nature nurture can never stick, on whom my pains humanely taken, all lost, quite lost. And as with age his body uglier grows, so his mind cankers. I will plague them all, even to roaring.
Pray you,
Tread softly. We now are near his cell.
Monster, your fairy, which you said is a harmless fairy, has done little better than play jack with us.
Monster, I do smell all horse piss, at which my nose is a great indignation.
So is mine. Do you hear, monster? If I should take displeasure against you, look you.
Thou word but a lost monster!
Good, my lord. Give me thy favour still. Be patient, for the prize I'll bring you to shall hoodwink this mischance. Therefore, speak softly. All's hushed as midnight yet.
Aye, but to lose all our bottles in the pool!
There is not only disgrace and dishonour in that monster, but an infinite loss.
That's more to me than my wetting you. This is your harmless fairy monster.
I'll fetch off my bottle, though I be your ears at my labour.
Prithee, my king, be quiet. Seest thou here? This is the mouth of the cell. No noise, and enter. Do that good mischief which may make this island thine own forever, and I, thy Caliban, for I, thy foot liquor.
Oh, give me thy hand. I do begin to have bloody thoughts.
Oh, King Stefano, oh, Pia.
No.
Oh, worthy Stefano, look what a wardrobe is here for thee.
Let it alone, thou fool, it is but trash.
Oh, monster, we know what belongs to a frippery. Oh, King Stefano.
I'll put off that gown, Trincula. By this hand, I'll have that gown.
Oh, thy grace
Oh.
shall have it.
The dropsy drown this fool. What means you to dote thus on such luggage? Let it alone and do the murder first. If he'll wake from toe to crown, he'll fill our skins with pinches, make us strange stuff.
Be you quiet, monster.
Oh, monster, put some lime upon your fingers and away with the rest.
I will have none on it. We shall lose our time and all be turned to barnacles or to apes with foreheads villainous low.
Monster, lay to your fingers, or I'll turn you out of my kingdom. Go to.
Hey, spirit!
Spirit, spirit.
Joints with dry convulsions, shorten thy sinews with aged cramps. Let them be pinch spotted more than Pard or Cattle Mountain. Let them be hunted soundly. At this hour lie at my mercy all mine enemies. Shortly shall all my labours cease, and thou shalt have the air at freedom. Now does my project gather to a head. My spirits obey, my charms crack not, and time goes upright with his carriage. How's the day?
On the 6th hour, at which time, my lord, you said our work should cease.
I did so, when first I raised the Tempest. Say, my spirit, how fares the king and his followers?
Confined together in the same fashion as you gave in charge. All prisoners, sir, in the lined road which weatherfence your cell. They cannot budge till your release. The king, his brother, and yours abide all three distracted, brimful of sorrow and dismay. But chiefly him that you termed, sir, the good old Lord Gonzalo. His tears run down his beard like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. Your charm so strongly works him, that if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender.
Dost think so, spirit?
Mine would, sir, were I human.
And mine shall. Hast thou, which art but air, a touch, a feeling of their afflictions, and shall not myself, one of their kind, that relish all as sharply, passion as they, be kindlier moved than thou art? Though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my noble reason against my fury do I take part. The rarer action,
is in virtue than in vengeance. They being penitent, the sole purpose of my drift doth extend, not a frown farther. Go, release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves.
I'll fetch them, sir.
The elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune and do fly him when he comes back. You demi-puppets that by moonshine the green sour ringlets make, whereof the yew not bites, and you whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azured vault set roaring war. To the dread rattling thunder have I given fire, and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt. The strong-based promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves, at my command, have waked their sleepers, oped and led them forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I'll here abjure, and when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, to work mine end upon their senses that this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book. Solemn air, and the best comforter to an unsettled fancy, cure thy brains, now useless, boiled within their skulls. There, stand, for you are spells stopped. Holy Gonzalo, honourable man, mine eyes, even sociable to the show of thine, fall fellowly dropped. The charm dissolves apace, and as the morning steals upon the night, melting the darkness, so their rising senses begin to chase the ignorant fumes that mantle their clearer reason. Most cruelly didst thou, Alonso, use me and my daughter. Thy brother was a furtherer in the act. But pinch for it now, Sebastian. You, flesh and blood, who entertained ambition, expelled remorse and nature, who with Sebastian would here have killed your king. I do forgive thee, unnatural though thou art. Their understanding begins to swell, and the approaching tide will shortly fill the reasonable shore that now lies foul and muddy. Not one of them that looks on me, or would yet know me. Ariel, I will discase me, and myself present, as I was sometime Milan. Quickly, spirit, thou shalt ere long be free.
There's some wine in your house, and tell me why
dainty Ariel. I shall miss thee. Yet thou shalt have freedom. So.
All torment, trouble, wonder, and amazement inhabit here. Some heavenly power guide us out of this fearful country.
Behold, Sir King, the wronged Duke of Milan, Prospero. For more assurance that a living prince does now speak to thee, I embrace thy body, and to thee in thy company bid a hearty welcome.
Where thou beest here, or no, or some enchanted trifle to abuse me, as late I have been, I not know. Thy pulse feels as of flesh and blood, and since I saw thee, the affliction of my mind amends, with which I fear a madness help me. This must crave, and if it be at all a most strange story, thy dukedom I resign, and do entreat thou pardon me my wrongs. But how should Prospero be living and be here?
First, my noble friend, let me embrace thy age, whose honor cannot be measured or confined.
Whether this be or be not, I will not swear.
You do yet taste some subtleties of the isle that will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends, all. You, my brace of lords, were I so minded, I now could pluck his highness' frown on you and justify you traitors. For this time, I will tell no tale.
Well, the devil speaks in him.
No. For you, most wicked sir, whom to call brother would almost infect my mouth. I do forgive thee, unnatural though thou art, and require my dukedom of thee, which, perforce, I know thou must restore.
If thou beest Prospero. Oh no! Give us particulars of thy preservation. How thou hast met us here, whom 3 hours since were wrecked upon this shore, and where I have lost. How sharp the point of this remembrance is, my dear son Ferdinand.
I am woe for it, sir.
Irreparable is the loss, and patience says it is past her cure.
I rather think thou hast not sought her help, of whose soft grace for the like loss I have her sovereign aid, and rest myself content.
You, the like loss?
As great to me as late, and to make the weak loss supportable, have I means much weaker than you may call to comfort you. For I have lost my daughter.
A daughter? Oh, heavens! That they were living both in Naples, the king and queen there. That they were, I wish myself were mudded in that oozy bed where my son lies. When did you lose your daughter?
In this last tempest. No more yet of this. Welcome, sir. This sells my court. Here have I attendants few and subjects none abroad. Pray you, look in. My dukedom, since you have given me again, I will requite you with as good a thing. At least bring forth a wonder to content ye, as much as me my dukedom.
Sweet lord, you play me false!
No, my dearest love, I would not for the world.
Aye, for a score of kingdoms you should wrangle, and I would call it fair play.
If this proves the vision of the island, one dear son shall I twice lose.
Most high miracle. Though the seas threaten, they are merciful. I have cursed them without cause.
Now, all the blessings of a glad father compass thee about. Arise and say how thou camest here.
Oh, wonder! How many goodly creatures are there here? How beauteous mankind is! Oh, brave new world that has such people in it!
'Tis new to thee.
What is this maid with whom thou wast at play? Your eldest acquaintance cannot be 3 hours. Is she the goddess that had severed us and brought us thus together?
Sir, she is mortal. But by immortal providence she is mine. I chose her when I could not ask my father for his advice, nor thought I had one. She is daughter to this famous Duke of Milan, of whom so often I have heard renown, but never saw before. Of whom I have received a second life, and a second father. This lady makes me to him.
I am hers, but oh, how oddly must it sound that I must ask my child forgiveness.
There, sir, stop. Let us not burden our remembrance with a heaviness that's gone.
I have inly wept, or should have spoke here this. Look down, you God, and on this couple drop a blessed crown, for it is you who have chalked forth the way which brought us hither.
I say amen, Gonzalo.
Was Milan, thrust from Milan, that his issue should become kings of Naples? Oh, rejoice beyond the common joy, and set it down with golden lasting pillars. In one voyage did Claribel her husband find in Tunis, and Ferdinand her brother found a wife, where he himself was lost. Prospero, his dukedom in this poor isle, and all of us ourselves, when no man was his own.
Give me your hands. Let grief and sorrow still embrace his heart that never wish you joy.
Be it so. Amen.
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 Sir, all this service was well done.
Bravely, my diligence, thou shalt be free.
This is as strange a maze as e'er men trod, and there is in this business more than nature was ever conduct of. Some oracle must rectify our knowledge.
Sir, my liege, do not infest your mind with beating on the strangeness of this business. I'll resolve you, which to you shall seem probable of every these happened accidents. Till when, be cheerful, and think of each thing well. Come hither, spirit. Go set Caliban and his companions free. Untie this spell. How fares my gracious sir? There are yet of your company some few odd fellows that ye remember not.
Every man shift for all the rest, and let no man take care for himself, for all is but fortune. Oh, Coratio, bully monster!
If these be true spies which I wear in my head, this is a goodly sight.
Setibus! These brave gods indeed! How fine my master is! I am afraid he will chastise me.
What things are these, my Lord Antonio? Will money buy them?
Very like. One is a plain fish, and no doubt market.
This misshapen knave. His mother was a witch, and one so strong that could control the moon, make flows and ebbs, and do her command without her power. These three have robbed me, and this demi-devil, for he's a bastard one, had plotted with them to take my life. Two of these fellows you must know and own. This thing of darkness I acknowledge mine.
I shall be pinched to death.
Is not this Stefano, my drunken cook?
Well, he's drunk now. Where had he wine?
And Triculo is reeling right. Where had they found this grand liquor that had gilded him? How camest thou in this pickle?
I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last. I fear me will never out of my board.
Why on earth, Stefano?
Oh, touch me not! I am not Stefano, but a crown.
You'd be king of the isle, sirrah.
I should be a sore one then.
This is a strange thing as e'er I looked upon.
He is as disproportioned in his manners as his shape. Go, sirrah, to my cell. Take with you your companions. As you look to have my pardon, trim it handsomely.
Aye, that I will. and I'll be wise hereafter and seek for grace. What a thrice double ass was I to take this drunkard for a god and worship this dull fool.
Go to hence.
Hence, bestow your luggage where you found it.
Or stole it, rather.
Sir, I invite your highness and your company to my poor cell, where you shall take your rest for this one night, which part of it I'll waste with such discourse as I not doubt shall make it go swift away. The story of my life, and all the particular accidents gone by since I came to this isle. And in the morning I'll bring you to your ship, and thence to Naples, where I have hope to see the nuptial of these, our dear beloved, solemnized. Then retire me to my Milan, where every third thought shall be my grave.
I long to hear the story of your life, which must take the ear strangely.
I'll deliver all, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sails so expeditious as shall catch your royal fleet far off. My Ariel chick, that's thy charge. Then to the elements be free. Fare you well. Now my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have's mine own, which is most faint. Now 'tis true, I must be here confined by you, or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardoned the deceiver, dwell on this bare island by your spell. But release me from my bands, with the help of your good hands. Gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which was to please. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself and frees all faults, as you from crimes would pardoned be. Let your indulgence set me free.
Thank you.